Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a video that I am excited to film because I really just need to do it. And that is brainstorming and outlining. If you're new here, my name's Amanda. I'm an aspiring horror author working on my debut novel, Project Crimson. And I am about 10,000 words into my manuscript, and now that I'm kind of getting a little bit into the story, I am realizing a few things about it, and I need to go back, look at what I've already written, look at my previous outline from when I started the project, and kind of see where I can go from here because the story is changing. It's different from when I first started. I have a lot of gaps, and the first few chapters that I have are incredibly underwritten. So they are way too short. They are not actual chapters. And just, I don't know, the whole thing itself, I just need to really figure out where I need the story to go because there's kind of two ways I can take it, and I need to figure that out. So I recently got Save the Cat Writes a Novel. I started annotating the first chapter, and if you know anything about this book, the ending chapters kind of give you some questions about your story and your characters, and so we're going to work through the first chapter of that. So the plan is to kind of sit down. I've got my whiteboard here. We're going to do a little brainstorming. I want to answer the first few questions and Save the Cat Writes a Novel about my characters' goals, wants, and needs, and kind of hone that in and get that set. And I want to look at my document I have on the computer where I have my outline that I kind of had when I first started, and kind of see what to trash and what to put in there. Really just need to hone in on the story structure. I need to flesh out my characters, sit down and brainstorm and just figure things out. My beginning chapters are so short that I need to see if I need to combine them or what I need to add. I need to just figure out what I'm trying to say and hone in on all those things to make sure I'm having a successful story. Recently, I watched one of Becca Tobar's videos, and she has been using Milanote, which is a program that I've recently started using. It's kind of similar to Notion. So I will get into that a little bit because that's kind of being I kind of made that to be my hub for all my story stuff. So we'll do a little bit of work in there. So the plan is, the first step, I just kind of want to sit down, throw some lo-fi music on or something, and just brainstorm with the story I have so far. When I first started this project, I had a general idea in the first opening scene and how I wanted it to end. And everything kind of in the middle has been pantsing or just figuring it out as I go. So I really need, now that I'm at a turning point where the story can kind of go one way or the other, I really need to just kind of decide what I'm going to do, because I think that's why I'm I've been in a mental block, because I just don't know where I want to go from here. So I haven't really been able to just sit down and write until I do all this. I just feel like it would be counterproductive. So today we really just need to sit down, figure it out, and go from there. So let's get started. We're gonna do some brainstorming, and then we'll do some stuff on the computer, and then hopefully at the end of this, I will have something to go off of and we can get back into writing again, because I am again falling behind. So fun. Okay, so I'm kind of excited right now because I feel like I just made a little bit of a breakthrough as far as how I can tie these characters together in a way that makes sense and in a way that adds more conflict to the story and makes it more interesting. And I'm really happy about that because I've been really stuck on this. So I think I just made a breakthrough. So we're gonna keep working on this and see where I can get. Okay, so I'm pretty much out of room on the whiteboard, but I think that I have enough on here where I can try and like outline this out. So this is what I got in like 20 minutes. It doesn't look like anything to you probably, but I always underestimate the power of like a good brainstorm and having a surface that you can easily like wipe things off of and put it back on, because a lot of the time when I'm writing on like paper or typing, everything feels so finite, and I feel like with a whiteboard it's just, you can just move so much more freely and adjust as you go. I think I'm over that spot that I was stuck on with how I'm gonna make this work and continue it, since I'm not doing what I initially planned on doing with that first character, which I've talked about on here before with how I was going to kill him off and everything and whatever. Finally figured that out. I've figured out how I can introduce my mailman character and have him relate more towards the plot and make sense and have more of like an integral role in the storyline. Yeah, good stuff. So I think next, we're gonna take this and my Save the Cat book that has the questions on it about my main character, and we're gonna sit down, we're gonna write that out, and then we will move to the computer and get that going and see how it compares to what I had written down before. When I first started this whole project and just kind of loosely wrote things out. I also want to look at those first few chapters and see, I think I'm probably going to have to add a chapter or add in to one of the chapters more of backstory, just to kind of set everything up a little better. What else? Yeah, I think that's it for right now. pretty much got all that set as far as my main character's problem, wants, needs. I think I know her pretty well now and what she's really trying to accomplish through this story and the lesson that she needs to learn, which is good. Next, I kind of just like want to nail down my Act 1 outline. The Act 1 outline for Save the Cat is broken down as opening image, stating the theme, setup, catalyst, and debate, which is like the internal debate. So I'm gonna sit down next and try to like hone that down, and then we're gonna get on the computer and try to iron everything out and get some things typed up, and then we should be done for the day. So I'm pretty pleased so far with just like the progress that I've made, just kind of ironing things out. So we should be pretty set to continue drafting after this. So we'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Okay, so now that I have my thoughts somewhat gathered and have most of the things figured out that I need to figure out, we're going to switch over to the computer and get some things typed up. I want to look at my first few chapters and see how they align with the outline and change the outline for the new story arcs that I have figured out. So that's what we're gonna do next. Okay. So here is my hub. This is my Milanote. This is where I'm putting everything that has to do with my novel. So I set this up a few days ago. I got this idea from Becca Tobar. Did a video going a little more in depth on Milanote, but it's basically like Notion, but I think personally it's a lot easier to use, and I like that all these colors and things are customizable. Everything's really easy to move around. You can even like draw on here and attach files and things like that, which I think is awesome. Basically what I have on here is my goal for the month, a little to-do list that has to do with my project. I have a link to the current track bear, to which is where we have like a board to track progress amongst YouTube people. Got a little inspo picture, the color that I think really encompasses the whole project, and then a couple documents here. This is going to be my used phrase list, which through writing, when I use any phrases that are, I don't know, unique in any way, I'm going to pop them in here so that I don't use them again and they don't become like redundant. Same thing with this one. This one's dates and times, so anytime if I make up anybody's birthday or date of the week, times that people are meeting at places, I'm going to jot all that in here. That way I can keep it consistent and I can revert back to it and don't have to like sift through the whole manuscript to find what I'm looking for. So in here, mainly I want to focus on these two. This is my character sheet. Started this the other day and I have a lot more to do here, but I pulled some pictures from Pinterest that I thought kind of represented my characters, and they might change, honestly. The one for Celeste is probably going to stay, but basically what I have here is general like description of what they look like, their wants, their needs, their false belief, and then their story arc. So I want to go back in and fill these in for each one, but I'm really kind of happy with how this is coming out. Stuff like this is like really fun for me. And then we have this one, which is the one we're going to focus on right now, which is where I'm going to be putting my outline, synopsis, and all the beats for my story, so I can make sure I'm staying on track for that. So on here, I haven't done too much yet. I did go through my draft and just kind of looked at how many words I have in each chapter currently. This is what I was talking about earlier, where these are very underwritten, 500 words, 600 words. I might be able to turn that into just one chapter and kind of shift things along. I do know that I need to add in some more background and just beef up things in general. I don't know if I'm going to do that now or when I go back in to finish the first draft, because I have said before that I'm currently doing a draft 0, which means that I do have chunks missing that I know that I want to go back into and fill in later. So I don't know if I'm going to go back in and do that now until I finish the draft 0, and then when I go back in to fill all my holes, then I can worry about that. Some of these are looking pretty good. Chapter 3 is looking pretty good. Chapter 5, Chapter 6, all those are good. I'm pretty happy with that. But I want to make sure all this is filled in outline wise. And then eventually in here as well, I will have a nice little storyboard here. Also in the Milanote, I have my settings, and this is just kind of where I've started putting together a little visual board, little mood board. So I'm gonna do some of the actual places they go. I have a bar, the restaurant, there's a nightclub, and just the general setting of Portland, Maine, and the time of the year, season. So I've got a picture of Deering Oaks Park here. That's in the fall. This park is going to play a big part in my story, so I definitely wanted to include that in here. And again, I like this program because it makes it very easy to move things around. You can put these little arrows. It's just fun. As a visual person, I like stuff like this, and it's the way that I've been procrastinating writing lately. So but yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of work in here. Also want to go through this, which is the Save the Cats beat sheet. I started kind of filling this in a few weeks ago, just very loosely. You can see in the red there, I've got it typed in, but I need to go back into that too. Kind of go back in and see if it aligns with what I've figured out plot-wise today. And then in here, this is what I had before for my outline when I first started the project. So basically, I don't even really consider this an outline. This is more of my brain dump. So I just started kind of dumping my plot, my settings that I wanted, the vibe I was going for, and then some stuff about the characters, but I don't even know if any of this aligns with what I currently have. And then this was my outline, just very loose. I had up into chapter 22 listed here, but I know all of this is going to shift around. So I want to sit down, go through this, kind of rework it, retype it, and get a new one done. But that's the plan, and that's my Milanote. And I'll check in with you guys after I get a little bit of work done on here. I think that we are done for today. I'm very happy with the progress that I made. I pretty much have all of Act 1 outlined now and set. I'm gonna tweak it a little bit more, and I want to go through the rest of the chapters that I had previously written down and see if those even align and trash those if they don't. So I'm gonna do a little bit more work, but other than that, I did a bunch of brainstorming today. We got Act 1 outlined, figured out my main character's wants and needs, and just like the real raw base of my story. So I'm very happy with that. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a sparkle emoji, comment down below what you are currently working on and how you like to outline. And also if you prefer to plot or you are more of a pantser and write as you go person. That's it, and I will see you in the next video.